Japan goes haywire as he fights Minority Chief Whip Muntaka in Parliament. And also tonight, Medical and Dental Council disappointed with decision by an Accra Circuit Court to discharge the CEO of Abingfo Hospital, Dr. Dominic Obeng-Ando. We'll tell you fallouts from that here on News Tonight. Joining us here tonight, my name is Keminni, Amanor. Now, Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Japan, on Wednesday threw caution to the wind and engaged a fellow legislator in a near fisticuff. In a video intercepted by GH1 TV, the respected legislator is seen violently pushing a fellow member in the House just to allow him attack the Minority Chief Whip, Muntaka Mubarak.
I'm ready for you to work. Listen, I'm ready for you.
Now, the disgraceful acts took place in Parliament, as you saw, and subsequently we'll bring you a conversation on this. But let's stay in Parliament. The minority there is accusing government of sabotaging the yet-to-be-passed RTI. The allegation of the NDC MPs stems from introduction of an amendment by Suhum MP Opare Hammond for inception of a 12-month implementation clause after passage of the bill.
Mr. Hammond argues government will need a grace period to put its acts in order. This proposal was, however, vehemently opposed by the minority MPs. The opposition compelled First Deputy Speaker Joseph Osei-Wusu, who was in the seat, to suspend consideration of the bill with a directive for leadership to deliberate on the new clause for a final decision. While West MP Joseph Yerechre told GH1 News, but for the needless proposal from the majority, the RTI bill would have been passed today.
Or would have passed it today. Would have passed the RTI bill? Yes. But as I say, you see that the speaker was on our side, and later on, that one, I'm sure they were giving text messages. They were not too sure whether to agree with us. But I'm still saying, no way, we will not agree. We will not be part of any delay in the implementation. And in the process of implementation, all the errors, in fact, sometimes you can pass a bill. When you start implementing it, you realize that no, you forgot something, and you need to come and amend it. Or there's something that is obstructing the implementation. That is why we should start it now.
Former Deputy Attorney General and a member of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, Dr. Dominic Ayene, argued government is manipulating the majority to make any RTI law toothless.
I suspect that there is, an intention to delay this in order, for the government to operate in the manner that it is operating now without, a lot of scrutiny. It doesn't take 12 months to do that if you are really committed to a government of transparency, a government of probity and accountability as required, under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So I think that this is a ploy, to continue to operate, a government that is not transparent and that is not accountable.
Chairman for the committee, Ben Abdallah, however, disagreed. He argued the amendment must be considered on its merits.
If it was the intention of anybody to torpedo the process and to ensure that the passage of the bill is delayed, then this bill wouldn't have gotten to where it is at the moment. And in any case, when we cross this bridge and it goes through the third reading, it becomes a law. it will not be seen in this August House again, as it has always been the case. It is only the commencement aspect that is suspended for a period if that proposition is even accepted.
The Offences South MP added a delay in the implementation of the RTI law after passage won't hurt anybody after waiting 20 years for such a law.
If we have waited for almost 20 years before the passage of the bill, why can't we wait for just a short period of time, 1 year or 6 months? I'm not saying that I'm in full support of the 1 year period that the member is proposing, but the most important thing is that, which we must all acknowledge, is that this bill will pass. That is the most important thing.
Now, the Medical and Dental Council is refuting claims it failed to avail itself to court, reason the court discharged their case against Dr. Dominic Obinfo-Ando of Obinfo Hospital. According to the registrar of the council, Dr. Eli Akwesi Atikwi, they have been in court all times the case was heard. Meanwhile, the case between the council and Dr. Obinfo-Ando has been relisted at the Accra Circuit Court 4 and a trial date set for Tuesday, February 5.
The number of times our team was in court, unfortunately, the accused was not there. Now it has come out that the complainant never showed up in court since the case was started. And I was surprised to have read, a statement like that.
An Accra Circuit Court on Monday, 28 January, discharged Dr. Dominic Kwame Obinfo-Ando of Obinfo Hospital at Weja on the basis of warrants of prosecution. The Medical and Dental Council has refuted the ruling, saying the council was duly represented all the times the case was called. According to the registrar of the council, Dr. Eli Akwesi Atikwi, the accused was rather not attending the court proceedings until a warrant was issued.
When the case was adjourned to Friday, the 5th of October 2018, again, our team was there. Unfortunately, the accused was not available. On Friday, November 2018, the accused was again absent. At this time, the prosecutor did ask for a bench warrant for the arrest of the suspect due to his frequent absence from court, but the trial judge declined.
He further stated the case has been reopened at the Accra Circuit Court 4 and the accused, Dr. Obinfo-Ando, has been summoned to appear before the court on February 25, 2019. The accused is facing 2 charges for practicing medicine without a license and operating a facility that is not registered under the Health Facilities Institutional Act.
We are the professional regulator, right? We don't have him gazetted as holding a valid license to practice medicine and dentistry. If there's any evidence elsewhere that the person making it will prove, that's the first thing. The second thing, like the registrar had just mentioned, is that at the time that this offense was committed, the institution itself was not registered, licensed by Health Facilities Regulatory Agency to operate as a health institution.
The Medical and Dental Council is, however, alleging that Dr. Obinfo-Ando's facility was still operating, though it had been shut down and a court case was ongoing.
On 2 occasions, we sent individuals to that particular institution, the Obinfo Hospital. The first one was on September 25th. A team went there and we realized that the institution was again open and the practitioner was practicing. But for us to ensure that we had evidence that he was attending to patients, we asked a lady to attend the clinic, which was done on Thursday, 27th September 2018.
Meanwhile, Dr. Obin Ando is standing another trial following the death of the former Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the National Entrepreneurship Innovation Program, Stacey Ofei Darkon, who visited the Obinfo Hospital at Weja.
You're watching News Tonight. Next here is Insight. Now, electorates at the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency are demanding free and fair elections. The constituents who spoke with the news team earlier today shared the expectations ahead of the by-elections scheduled for Thursday, January 31, 2019.
China vote no security no tight. More be vote no peaceful vote my. The ebe win no anu na win ye no anu no
China de mehwehwe ne se one asomdwe ebeba abatunum 2 nienti a me beto aba no esese yehwe aba no senia de yehunu ntina esese yeto aba no
election na ba fe sanu wo fe ye ejolemi moni ba ye eje akebe kenomo keni aka fe Ayawaso ele wo fe kome ka fo mo fe amola ekome e wa akebe aka fe moni ba ye anyumbo ni wo manche e wo moni ba ye eje
edi kan de hia sunjwe sunjwe ina pepe yo they say fairness
abatwa ne yepa asumdwe wa hasi ana mesra mu mienu ananso mo nan so mu num na mu gina ne say wa obenwini bia na eye but yes so omudi mpuntu djuma bi beba because ye hwa ye ne market kura mpo okuro we mu ana toilet bia so nche da bembe ho wa hasi ati di obenwini ne se omma bi mra ba wlesi ya na omunya se toilet na omukodigu gatas no bebere no ti ochina abatwa ne de so mo asumdwe mu se no kre ene asumdwe bebere ento wa hasi.
Caution should be sent to those who have in mind to come and disturb the peace of the constituency. Me, I believe this is just a test case for NPP, the party in government, that in going to 2020, when things are structured well here, at least it will give a good signal to the EC, the security service, and also to the political parties for them to prepare themselves towards what will happen here tomorrow. And I believe that free and fairness is what we all pray for, and may the best candidate win.
Let's stay on the subject. The Electoral Commission has responded to allegations by some members of the opposition NDC that it has bloated the voter register for the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency ahead of the by-election on Thursday. In a press statement signed by Deputy EC Chairperson in charge of Corporate Services, Dr. Bosman Asare, the Commission assured the public that the Ayawaso West Wuogon register is clean and reflects the total number of valid voters in the constituency and not bloated as claimed by the NDC. The NDC earlier alleged that its attempts to access the proxy list, the transfer list and special voters list have yielded no results. The EC, however, says it is untrue, as the NDC requested a copy of the set list late Friday on the 25th of January 2019 when the activities at the Commission had wound down. It is significant to note that the author of the press release has unlimited access by press release. The NDC's release has unlimited access to the chairperson responsible for operations and could have reached this person without much effort. Now, in a bit, we will discuss that press release and also speak to the political parties, the main contenders in this race, and find out what tomorrow is likely to look at. As far as they are concerned, well, I'm told that the conversation we plan on having with Ben Efson will have to take place a little later as we rework the phone lines to get him. But in the studio with me is Richard Ahiagba. Richard Ahiagba is a member of the NPP communications team. It's good to see you again.
My pleasure.
What is tomorrow looking like for you?
Well, good evening to yourself and to your viewers and to all the Ghanaians in Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency who are engaged in this election. I greet them specially this evening. Tomorrow, I think everything is set. On our part as a political party, we have been hard at work. We have done the groundwork necessary. I came here from Abilinkwe where we were engaging and doing preparations for tomorrow. So I'd said all is set for us. We have done all we have to do right as a political party in preparing ourselves. Our candidate is in good spirit, and I think we're in a good place to pursue.
You think it's going to be a piece of cake for you, given the there could be the bit of the sympathy vote, there could be the fact that historically you seem to have had that area easy peasy?
Not really. No election is easy, and we've never taken it for granted that we win Ayawaso West Wuogon. Our goal has always been that if we win it, we must serve the people. So this is another occasion to have the people validate the mandate they gave us, again, on account of the fact that we've been working and we are committed to serving them the right way. I think I heard one of the reports that was filed with one of your reps, talking about sanitation, toilets, and the rest of them. I think this is going to be the new frontier that we'll have to do much work in. You hear our president is focused on moving Accra as the cleanest city toward the end of his service. We can do it now. So that's where we're going to have to concentrate more. Our goal in Ayawaso West Wuogon is to serve the people. And I think we've done well.
Since 2000, that you have been claiming that seat. What exactly would you say it is that the NPP has done for this area? What are you most happy about?
Well, I am happy, I think, talking to people. Yesterday we were at the Presby GSS when we had our rally. There's a lot of things that is being done. The road construction works that are going on. But typically what I am interested in is the stability in the constituency, the understanding that we are at the service of the people. The people are the ones who put us there, and we're going to do everything we can to help them. What I want to see with this mandate that we're going to get with candidate Lady Al-Hassan is to see a situation where we'll engage with them more, so they can give us feedback as to what they want done. That's why I like that report where it says that they are interested in toilets and things of that nature. That's where we can.
But even if that's, you see, that's my point. If in 2016, the people in that constituency are still asking for toilets, are still asking for very basic things, then since 2000 that you have been sitting on that platform as MP, or particularly for the party, then what have you been doing? By now, people shouldn't be asking for that.
You know, that's a developmental issue. It has nothing to do with Ayawaso West Wuogon. If you look broadly, one of the challenges we have legislatively is the ability of our members of parliament to be able to forward an agenda or to sponsor a bill and say, in my constituency, these are the problems, and I suppose that putting this legislation in place is going to help us address that issue. Of course, doing so nationwide. Now, MPs are not in a position to do that. You understand? So that's a hindrance that is affecting the actual work. You and I understand what MPs are supposed to be doing in real time. That is to legislate in ways that help improve the livelihoods of the people.
And use your common fund as well.
Exactly, to address problems. So we will move in that area, but the critical point is this, that legislation must come to support what they are doing, to regulate behavior. Because, look, toilets, people, if we have a legislation that says you can't build a house without a toilet in it, that solves much of the problem. I'm
going to come back to you. We'll look at some of the issues that have come up since the beginning of this, rather to the end of this race, regarding the voter register. But over the phone now is pollster and editor-in-chief for the Daily Dispatch newspaper, Ben Epson. Uncle Ben, good evening.
Good evening, Keminni. Good evening to our viewers, and good evening to my friend in the studio. Keminni, long time no see.
Absolutely, and it's good to hear from you. Happy New Year.
Thank you. So belated.
Yes. Is the NPP looking forward to a piece of cake tomorrow?
Piece of cake, no. It's actually safety for them. What the two parties are looking for is a tool for propaganda. The MPP won it by 57%, NDC had about 39% in 2016. The MPP will be striving to get at least 57% or more, lest the NDC say that, look, you see, you're relatively strong for you couldn't maintain the 57% you got. So the issue is whether the MPP would maintain the 57%. But I think that they will retain the seat tomorrow. Is the issue the 57%, their performance in 2016?
Oh, I see. Let me bring that to Richard here, who is with me. You think you're going to retain that much support?
Yes, like I said to you, we've done all we have to do, right? And so we're confident, all things being equal. But we're not taking it lightly at all. We're doing it with the understanding that it's a heavy burden, and we are going to approach the people with all the seriousness it deserves to give us that mandate again, because we know we can serve them better than anyone can.
Uncle Ben, do you think they will retain that much support come tomorrow?
Between yesterday and today, I know that the MPP are working hard to assuage some anger within the NPP itself in the constituency. There has been a bit of feeling that attempts have been made to sideline those who have been nurturing the desire to contest later in favor of the lady who has chosen with the late MP. If they succeed, they are likely to get the 57%. If they don't, they could drop to about 53, 54, which will give them a propaganda advantage. You must bear in mind that in by-elections, the general turnout is almost lower than the general election. And in 2016, the turnout there was about 64% of nearly 88,000 voters. So tomorrow I expect the turnout to be between 38 and 45%, the normal for by-elections.
Very well.
And I'm hoping that once the EC has clarified the issue of the voters register, because I believe that, every year...
Uncle Ben, we'll come to the issue of the voter register in a moment.
Okay, all right.
And perhaps a little, background to the makeup of the Ayawaso West constituency. Over the phone now is Abdul Rashid. He is the district electoral officer. He is the returning officer for Thursday's by-election. Good evening, Abdul.
Yeah, good evening.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. How is tomorrow looking like?
We're looking forward to a very normal day. We are prepared for the elections tomorrow, and we are currently at Central Cafeteria as the collation center for this particular election, putting our materials together. We'll soon be done with the distribution, and hoping that tomorrow, God willing, we shall start elections at 7 a.m. prompt and end at 5 p.m., God willing.
I see. How many people are we expecting to vote tomorrow?
We have a voter population of 88,745. But you can't tell. I'm not sure all of them will be able to come out and vote.
I take it as we are using all 137 polling stations?
Yes, 137 polling stations. Yes, the election shall take place at all the 137 polling stations in the Ayawaso West constituency.
Very well. Now, for you watching us now, you want to stay on for this conversation. We'll give you a breakdown here on Insight. But Abdul, let me come to you. There have been concerns about the register containing this 88,000 people. The NDC, one of the contenders in this race, feels that it is bloated. How are you handling this?
I had a die-pack with all the parties contesting in this election, and an explanation was given to their concerns. So I'm surprised that they are saying that there are issues out there.
I see.
We understood everything.
So what was this explanation that was given?
We left die-pack satisfied.
What was this explanation that was given?
What concern are you talking about specifically? Because we discussed a lot of issues.
About the bloated register, about the fact that you will not finish the NDC.
That's a surprise to me. We don't have a bloated register in Ayawaso. You know, the registered number of voters in the constituency is 88,745, and that is what we are working with.
Okay, so why then won't they have access to the transfer list, the special voter list, the proxy list? In fact, they have also asked for the 2016 register in order to compare with what they've been given.
I'm not aware of that because that never came up at our meeting.
Very well. Let's talk about security tomorrow. How are you handling security?
That is left to the security to handle. We are organizing and ensuring that our materials get to the field. And the security, I'm very sure, they've given us the assurance that they will be at all the centers and they will ensure that the election goes on peacefully.
What I'm asking is, what would you be telling if let's assume that the security personnel or the security agencies have not shared their security plan with you? I'm just assuming that. What are you telling them?
We have given.
Well, if you know, I just asked you, and you referred me to the security. I know you know. That's why I asked you.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes, no, what I'm telling you that because you see, we have provided them with all the centers, and they are also putting in their strategies for the centers. You understand that? I will not be able to let you into the strategy that they have for the election. That is why I'm saying I cannot, do that.
Very well.
We expect them to be present at all our centers.
Very well. So what would you say? What would you say to the voter that is coming there tomorrow?
Yeah, what the message we have for them is that we are prepared for them, and it's because of them that we shall open all the centers, so they should avail themselves to the process. But when they come, they should just join the queue calmly and wait for their turn to vote at the centers. They shall ensure that all those who appear at the centers will have the opportunity to cast their vote.
Abdul, we'll leave our conversation here. Thank you very much and all the best tomorrow. Abdul Rashid is the district electoral officer, the district being the Ayawaso district. He's the electoral officer, be it the returning officer for Thursday's by-election. You're watching GH1 News tonight. This is Insight, and we are discussing the Ayawaso West Wuogon by-election tomorrow. Let's go back to Ben Epson, who is pollster and editor-in-chief for the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Uncle Ben, so I was asking, help us understand the makeup of the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency.
Okay, thank you very much. The Ayawaso West constituency has about 5 main areas. We have Wuogon, which makes up about 27% of the population. We have Wuogon, which makes up 34.1%. Abelenke has 17.1%. Roman Range and Airport have 10.9%, and Joe has 10.2%.
I see. Uncle Ben, given the makeup of this area, how does it tell usually on the outcome of the results? Or on the outcome of the elections, rather?
The party which condemned PP 1992, the FPP boycotted parliamentary elections. In 1996, the NDC's candidate, Michelle Bekadite, was declared the winner. But George Amu, who lost, took the case to court. It dragged on, and Amu was declared winner by the court. But the declaration was done a month to the expiration of Parliament. So there was no election at that time. And since 2000, the MPP has held the seat, an average of 2,800 to 3,000 votes. It was in 2012 that the margin reduced to 1,006, Ijakon's first term as an MP there. And in 2016, he had a little over 10,000 votes margin. But for by-elections, we have on the percentages because there will definitely be a a lower turnout. So the party which usually wins the University of Ghana is likely to win. If you look at the breakdown of the votes over time, you can see that the MPP does well in Roman Ridge airport areas where the middle class is. That's most where their strength is. They do well in parts of areas around Wuogon. Oponglo, NDC does well at Jowulu. It's almost split most of the time.
Well, Uncle Ben, you wanted to talk about the bloated register that has allegedly, the NDC is saying that the register is bloated and they want to see figures about it. You want to talk about it? Go ahead quickly.
Yes, basically, briefly, every year, the AC opens the voters register for those who've attained 18 years or who've transferred their votes or who have not registered before to do so. So my understanding was that the NDC was given the list as at 2016. But when they went round and they tallied, they realized that it was less by, I think, 1,165 votes for those who will be voting tomorrow. And that's where the problem was. And as at last night and early this morning, my understanding was that the issue was being resolved. And I believe that the EC had to put it on record to react to whatever it was. But every year, so I believe that henceforth or in future, people should just make sure that whoever goes to the EC, they make sure that they should bear in mind that every year the voter register is open. It's called limited registration, Keminni.
Thank you very much, Uncle Ben, for your time. Ben Epson is pollster and editor-in-chief of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Now, we made attempts to speak to the NDC, the other big contender in this race. Unfortunately, we were unable to get to them. So Richard Ahiagba is here with me. He is a member of the NPP communications team. What's your take on the accusations from your opponent as far as the register is concerned, issues around the electoral roll?
Yeah, before then, let me just quickly correct some impression created by my senior brother, Ben Epson, in respect of some issue in the constituency. Everything, we have done everything that we have to do, and everything is in order. So there isn't any skirmishes or anything that needs to be resolved by the party. Our goal beyond winning the election, our focus is not so much on percentage and whatnot. We are interested in occasion. Elections was there.
Perhaps you two are too comfortable because you know it's a safe seat for you.
No, we're not. And I was just telling you, I just came back from that constituency. You need to come and see. You should have come and see our election center, the kind of activity that is going on there. Our leaders are not sleeping. We are focused on this because, look, the privilege to serve is not something you take so lightly. So we are engaged and locked in. You understand? We're not taking anything for granted. If that were the case, we'll sit home. Okay? We are interested in engaging the people. You see, the key thing I found out, just coming from Aberenkwe to come here, talking to the people, you get ideas, you get motivation, you get people telling you we are behind you. That is, for me, a feedback that we're going to take away from this election. So beyond winning and campaigning, there's a lot that we are getting from this that is going to help the governance of this country. So we are not interested in these gimmicks about voter register being bloated. This was just a voter register, they superintendent.
Indeed.
So please, if there was anything, I think they should engage the EC. All of this issue can be addressed with the EC and not in the media the way they're trying to do it.
Well, Richard, that's all time will allow for us. I'm grateful for your time. All the best tomorrow. Now, as they did in 1996 and in the alliance in 1992 from the NPP. Now, if you live in Ayawaso, perhaps you don't know that you live in Ayawaso. Just maybe. But this is the makeup of the Ayawaso West Wuogon area. There is Abelenkpe, there is Jowulu, there is Roman Ridge and Airport residential area together. There is Oponglo, there is Wuogon, and there is East Wuogon. Now, there are 137 polling stations across these areas. If you're a voter, you have a voter ID, you can go to all 137 polling stations where you're registered and cast your ballot. In Abelenkpe, you find 20 of them. In Jowulu, you find 13 of them. In Roman Ridge Airport residential area, there are 17. Oponglo, 25. Wuogon, 40. And East Wuogon, 22. As you heard from Uncle Ben, Wuogon will be the decider for tomorrow. We look forward to them. All the best to the parties who are contesting this contesting the seat rather. And we'll bring you up to the minute updates here on GH1 television. Right now, that'll be all for Insta. Stay on for more news. Now let's turn attention to some other issues. Parents of 2 abused children in Cape Coast in a case brought against Asa Savings and Loans have opted for an out-of-court settlement of 50,000 cedis. 40% of the money is being invested with Data Bank towards the future of the 2 children who can access it, who can have access to it when they are 18 years old.
In May 2018, Asa Savings and Loans, the Elmina branch, was sued in the Cape Coast High Court for allowing 2 of the employees to manhandle and maltreat 2 children of a customer aged between 5 and 7 years. The plaintiff, Theophilus Atipo, stated that his wife took a loan from the said Savings and Loans company and per agreement with the company was asked to pay 190 Ghana cedis every week in installments. However, that particular week, she had reneged on payment by 50 Ghana cedis. In the wake of this, staff of Asa Savings and Loans walked into their house without permission and took their children and maltreated them to the extent that the youngest defecated on herself. Despite this reaction from the terrified child, staff from the company still would not budge, insisting the kids produce their mother. A good Samaritan that witnessed the barbaric act paid off the workers, and it was only after that the workers let go of the kids. According to Section 2, Clause 1 of the Children's Act 1998, the best interest of the child shall be prominent in any matter concerning the child. Children Rights International, an organization that has made it its aim to ensure that under no circumstance should the dignity of a child be trampled upon, took up the matter after the father of the children, demanding justice, sought their help.
Both parties engaged our lawyers to do the negotiation, for which the Savings and Loan Company agreed to compensate the family with the 50,000 Ghana cedis for the family, especially to the children. So upon getting the compensation for the family, we have also decided to sign an agreement with the family to invest 40% of the amount into the lives of the children till they attain the age of 18 years, for which they would have access to the fund to start life.
There'll be more updates on that story in subsequent broadcasts. Now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Shadi Ayoko, has called on the Africa Group Deep Seabed Mining Experts meeting in Accra to develop strong policies to protect maritime space on the continent and beyond. Addressing a workshop, the Foreign Minister entreated the experts to show commitment to the issues on the agenda and make contributions that will enable the continent develop an outcome document that will help shape and make effective and efficient exploitation of marine resources in Ghana.
According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, deep sea mining is the process of retrieving mineral deposits from the deep sea, the area of the ocean below 200 meters, which covers about 65% of the Earth's surface. There is growing interest in the minerals deposits of the deep sea. This is largely due to the depleting terrestrial deposits for minerals. The Foreign Minister observed that the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana highlights a key foreign policy objective for the country to seek the establishment of a just and equitable international economic and social order for all manner of persons. This, she says, is the reason why the country has been effective on the Seabed Authority since its inception.
Issues pertaining to the protection of our oceans are now taking center stage globally as a result of the threats posed to the oceans, a major source of our economic survival. In our part of the world, Eliminating the pollution of our water bodies has been difficult, and it is even more daunting a task to manage those risks in areas beyond our national jurisdictions. It is in this regard that Ghana attaches a lot of importance to the current negotiations to protect the maritime space beyond national jurisdiction, commonly called BBNJ.
Ghana's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, Martha Amapobi, in her address indicated that the International Seabed Authority, ISA, has decided to establish a museum to honor an illustrious son of Ghana, Ni Alote Odanton, who served as Secretary General of the authority.
I want to take the opportunity to thank members of the group for their support, for their active engagement, especially also for supporting the immediate past Secretary General of the authority, Ni Alote Odanton, during his tenure as Secretary General. There is a proposal to establish a museum in his honor at the headquarters of the ISA. And this idea has been strongly supported by the group.
So far, the focus has been on exploring the deep sea and assessing the size and extent of mineral deposits. Mining in international waters is expected to commence in 2025.
You're watching News Tonight live on GH1 television. My name is Keminni Amanor. Don't go too far. I'll be right back.
Ma.
Yes.
I'm going to the bank to deposit some money. I'll be back soon.
Hey, Kofi, who quiet? With all that has been going on, you still want to go and deposit your money at the bank? Kofi, Ubakume.
You don't have to worry. I keep all my money at the bank and it's safe.
Really?
Yes. The Bank of Ghana has taken some bold actions to protect our monies. And they have also introduced a lot of reforms to strengthen our banks.
Sir?
These will ensure that banks have more capital to do their business and are better governed and managed so that they can protect the money that we entrust to them. These banks will provide better services and support more businesses and the economy as a whole.
Wow, Kofi, that's very good. We should continue to keep our money in the bank and not take them to unlicensed institutions that promises the moon, yet run away with our money. Go and deposit your money at the bank, Kofi, and come back quickly for your punching kaka. Yes.
I'll be back.
Bank of Ghana, promoting a safer and resilient banking system.
A new day comes with a new hustle. My name, Bishatawale. I started on the streets. They tried to hold us back, but we kept moving. I worked hard because I knew one day I would play hard.
Yo, we work hard, we play hard, yeah. Cause I stop energy, stop energy, stop energy, stop energy, stop energy, stop energy, stop energy.
Storm Energy Drink. Work hard, play hard.
Everybody said I'm loving.
To anyone who ever pushed me to go further.
Come on, one more.
To anyone who ever gave me a hand up. To those who work together to set the bar higher. To those who give me the energy to go further. This is my team, and my team makes me.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
We know there is no place like home, which is why we stop at nothing to make our home an exciting experience, whether you are visiting Kumasi on a business trip or on a simple getaway. Ultimate luxury is what truly defines our Oak Plaza Suites. Nestled at the heart of Asokwa, Kumasi. Relax in our penthouse suites with a private pool and a gym and experience our home away from home. Oak Plaza Suites at the Arc, Asokwa, the pride of Ashanti region.
When we join our hands, it means that we are one. It means we stand, believe, and rise together. Because when our hands are joined, our hearts are joined too. And when all our hearts beat as one, extraordinary things become.
All right, so to my headline business story, and here the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, has announced 6 licensed operators engaged in fund management activities on the capital market have voluntarily requested to cease operations for various reasons. Well, a statement indicated after a thorough assessment of the circumstances approved by the request. According to the Securities and Exchange Commission, the 6 firms, HFC Capital Partners, Atai Capital Limited, Serengeti Capital Limited, Indigo Investment Management Limited, Verit Investment Advisory Limited, and Waxen Investment and Pensions Management are therefore not mandated to carry out any fund management activities. Consequently, the Commission wishes to inform the general public that anyone who engages in any transaction with any of these companies or their representatives in a capacity as fund managers could be exposing themselves to avoidable risk. The Deputy Director General of SEC, Paula Babio, in a brief interaction with GH1 Business said they intend to carry out massive education on the capital market in year 2019 to lower the risk of associating with Ponzi schemes on the capital market.
So we'll be coming out with some materials on investments, on looking at licensed market operators and understanding what they do, understanding the various products in the marketplace, and really asking the right questions and being conscious of the investment environment.
He added SEC is collaborating with fund managers to develop innovative products which supports investments in areas such as the real estate and agri sectors.
We're also preparing a master plan for Ghana's capital markets. And the idea is to have a 10-year vision. Part of regulatory activities we do also involves market development. So certain new products we're looking at, like asset-backed securities, real estate investment trusts. We just finished some of those reviews and we'll be publishing it in the next few weeks. And these touch on areas. If you talk about real estate, you talk about agri. There are very few investment avenues on our markets now.
All right, so tonight I'm ending here because just in about a short while, we'll bring you some entertainment updates as well as some international news. Do stay with us. Keminni Amanor will be back shortly with some more.
Business Brief is brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
In real life, there's no buffering. So why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to the home from MTN. MTN Home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband from the Internet Masters.
We're there for you, everywhere you go.
Well, just before I head out of the studio, the Zango Development Minister Mustafa Hamid has expressed anger at the growing cases of discrimination against female Muslim nurses who wear hijabs in public health facilities across the country. Now, Mustafa Hamid has warned health authorities and hospital administrators against such practices as it is unconstitutional. He said the Constitution gives all citizens the right to profess and manifest their religion of choice.
As far as our society is concerned, he says that there should be no discrimination on the basis of age, of gender, of religion, of everything. And so this girl was demoted. She went to her demotion point and still wore the hijab. They still followed her to her demotion point and insisted that she should remove the hijab. Despite the caution of wearing the hijab, you continue to put it on at the ward, blah, 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 blah. So yesterday, I called the Director of Health Services, Dr. Nsiasari. And then my personal assistant came to report to me that the woman has gone back and the Director of Nursing Services, Deputy Director of Nursing Services, tells her that they are not under the Ghana Health Service and that they are under another group called Mental Health Authority. I said, no problem. So I called and found out who is head of Mental Health Authority. And they said one Dr. Akwesi Osei. And again, let me contrast with the last breath of my life.
International news is next. U.S. President Donald Trump has called U.S. intelligence agencies naive on Iran and also dismissed the assessment of the threats posed by North Korea. Trump's comments came after a U.S. intelligence report said Iran was not making nuclear weapons. It also said that North Korea remained unlikely to give up its weapons stockpiles and production abilities. The U.S. intelligence report also warned that cyber threats from China and Russia were a growing concern, and both countries may be seeking to influence the 2020 U.S. presidential elections. Donald Trump also launched a diplomatic push to improve relations with North Korea. That'll be all for tonight. Patrick Stevenson will join you at 6:30 tomorrow evening for more news tonight. But we're back at 6 in the morning Thursday with news. My name is Keminni. Amanor, have a good evening.
GH1 TV, your best experience.
Mara is brought